It's been a couple of days now. Warzone 2, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's talk. One thing that made Warzone 1 so great was taking out any kind of frustration that other Battle Royale games brought on. Very smooth looting system. There was the loadout to always have the best weapon you wanted to have. And on top of that, you could just join, pistol, fight, start right in the action, get loot, keep fighting, and essentially never stop fighting. Warzone had all these amazing elements that usually other BRs didn't have. Apex, you had to loot a lot. PUBG, you looted for 15 minutes partially to finally then just die in a firefight, and so on. In Warzone, you could just go and full send it. And that is something that Warzone 2 has been a bit lacking at. I mean, obviously people need to get used in the beginning to what the game had to offer. So it was new. We just landed in at the COD Next event and didn't necessarily straight off the rip knew what to do. Still though, with the new looting system being less intuitive and you actually having to F up things, because you do not automatically loot. You have a limited backpack space, which is very frustrating in itself. In Warzone, you just usually run over the ammo, can get a certain amount of ammo, and that's good. You can take one of each you can take an airstrike, you can take the other one, tactical lethal, and whatsoever. And that was very intuitive and nice. In PUBG or Apex, you always had to choose, like, how much ammunition do I take there? Do I take more mats? You had to like min-max with your equipment. That was kind of nice for these kind of games. But the more time you spend with your inventory, the less time you essentially spend playing the game, fighting opponents. And that can be extremely frustrating, especially if you do actually want to have action. And in this case, you didn't actually really have a choice. So you had to min-max with your equipment. And especially every single time you killed an opponent, you first like stare at their loot and you're just like, how am I min-maxing now? And that with the fast pace of Warzone just really not agrees with each other. A big win, and that gotta be said, is the map. And especially also the 3 zones. You just saw it here when I'm landing. The zone is actually split in a 3-way. And that's a very good thing. Remember people complaining about zone campers, people just being in the end game from the very minute on? It's actually impossible with this mechanic. No one says it's not possible to play strategic like this, because it still is. But if you realistically think about it, all 3 zones separate. And then there's a middle zone coming you have to walk into. Which means that from the beginning or from the get-go on, there's no way to actually camp the end zone. You know, the iron play style. So now you have to get into A, C, or B. And then all 3 converge in the middle again. And yes, sure, you can run ahead of folks to kind of be at like a tiny little corner of the map and then slowly move into the inside. But no one can essentially be on the highest tower in the middle already just waiting for you, because everyone kind of has to move in. That creates action, movement, and still you can hold the edge of the zone, and you can also, with a gas mask, just try to get into position early. But that's then again strategy. And it's quite nice to have this movement in the end game where everyone actually has to move. Because the worst thing is if you have a situation where there's 20 teams and no one has to move. So the triple zone, I think, is going to be a big W for the game overall. There's no question about that. Now we just have to get all the other elements aligned to go there. Now, obviously, the big thing is movement, and a lot of people, they just want their slide cancel back to do some advanced skilled movement. Now, this will always be like a pain point to talk about and to discuss, because yes, there is a skill difference with slide cancel. No, it shouldn't be what it is in terms of slide cancel. I am not advocating against movement mechanics. I want movement mechanics that allow you to play better. But it just shouldn't be something bugged. The problem with slide cancel is, yes, it allows you to slide around, but it effectively breaks hit registration. If you ever try to shoot someone slide cancel, due to the way how it works, it kind of can break the hit rec. It kind of can break, obviously, your camera. And it kind of makes, depending on your ping, just shots vanish randomly. Slide cancel is one of the things that creates extreme inconsistencies in time to kill, or can. Yes, it's very cool for fancy movement and stuff, but there should be something that allows you to do that, aka a form of slide cancel, but something that fits naturally in the game. And being able to abort a slide, but in the terms of just making it shorter than longer, is a good thing. Right now, you're stuck in the slide. It would be good to be able to cancel the slide. It should just be in a different way than popping up and kind of breaking your character's body weirdly, and then, you know, hit rec stops existing and you dodge a headshot because your character just decompresses and minimizes really fast. So we need some kind of movement mechanic. Call it a slide cancel, or just call it whatever you want. It just shouldn't be what it used to be. We do have the dolphin dive right now, which can obviously not be used in an aggressive way. And yes, there are ways to slide cancel right now. The ways are using a GTA cheat code where you essentially have to slide, double ADS time, and then jump. I've seen people do it, and to be frank and fair, the amount of focus it takes and the amount of button jamming they do, it's by far in any way not an advantage to actually do it. I see just people die to it randomly instead of getting used to new and enhanced movement. Another pain point would obviously be the Satchel System. Because again, Warzone made things less painful. You landed, everyone had the same amount of plates, everyone had the same armor. In Apex Legends, you land, and if you're lucky, you loot a purple armor straight away, and therefore have a huge advantage fighting. In PUBG, the same. You land level 2 armor, 35, 45, 55% damage reduction straight away. You don't have an armor, you might as well just shoot yourself. And the same kind of goes for Warzone now. You land, you loot a satchel, you have 3 plates, you're just more durable. And if you land and if you don't loot a satchel, you're already at a disadvantage. Now we could argue it's a battle royale game and looting something awesome is allowed to give you an advantage. But then you should make the satchels either extremely common for everyone to find one straight of the rib, or you should make it extremely rare, so it's only like in a stronghold. In both cases, it's kind of stupid because if you make the satchel super common, you might as well give everyone 3 plates from the get-go. And if you make it extremely rare, you actually give people that play ultra defensive, or that just loot and never fight, a big advantage over people that want to play aggressive. Then again, you could make the 3 plates a progressive something. So if you kill 1, 2, 3 players, you essentially upgrade your satchel to 3 plates. I'm okay with something that gives you an advantage if you actually play good. On the other hand, again, time to kill inconsistencies and frustration. If you lose a fight merely because you have less plates, but not less plates from, like, you got shot and you only have 1 out of 3. No, less plates from the beginning. Your opponent just has 3 and you have 2. And that's why you lose the fight. Not because he's better. Not because he's shooting better. Just simply because he got more plates. It's super frustrating. And that's what we can't have in Warzone 2. Frustration. Have you ever spectated someone? It looks extremely weird. They're hip firing the whole time. It seems like there's a body cam attached here. So you don't actually have a feeling for how do they play. It just weirdly looks like they're just they have like insane hip fire. So you can't actually learn anything from spectating someone, and it will just look like they're hacked up in any way. Again, another point of frustration because you kind of want to see how he out ADS'd you, how he hit their shots really good or whatsoever, and not just something kind of off-putting. But all these things we just mentioned are stuff that can still be fixed. And this got to be realistically said. Warzone 2 ain't dead. I'm worried a little bit because in the current iteration of Warzone, I will still have fun. I will still play Warzone 2. But I just noticed where the success of the game would be less than expected. So I could still enjoy Warzone 2, but it wouldn't just be the perfect product it could have been. And that's where we at the community have to come in right now. There's 2 months left. 2 months is a lot of time to give very good feedback to help them work on this. The looting system can be overhauled. Extremely easy, to be honest. There's a lot of pain points there that can be done. The spectation, no problem. I mean, instead of shoulder, just go into the perspective. The perspective is there anyways. Then with the satchel, they could just take it out or give everyone 3 plates. It's already in the system. Can be done very easy. TTKs can be lowered, can be higher. The way the loadouts work, I didn't cover this because we have a whole video on this. I think the way the loadouts work is fine. That we have no perks is also fine. But they could just put the perks as lootables in. Very simple. So all these things, like, it's not over yet. It's over when it's released and they didn't listen to any feedback and we get this version. That would be a shame. A big fucking shame. So what do you think? How are you feeling right now? People have been asking me for my honest opinion. That's my honest opinion. Again, Activision didn't pay me any money to make these videos. This is just how I feel about it. I will play Warzone 2. I will enjoy it. I will have fun. But we need the improvement to make it the best possible version it could have ever been. Now, thank you for watching, giving me time to ramble and rant on about Warzone again. There's a lot of Modern Warfare 2 videos coming as well, as I do get my first gameplay in at home today. Therefore, wish you a fantastic good time. Don't forget to check out the other videos. And as always, have a great day.